Welcome to Living It Up with Lynette, a show co-produced by the nonprofit agencies Friends Health Connection and Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey. So, welcome, Mr. Asner. It is an honor to meet you this way today and to have you here today. And I have to tell you that I really enjoyed your book. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't necessarily think I was, because I love politics, but I'm not a history buff. But your book was really enlightening to me, and it's really well written, and it's really funny, and I really liked it. So I'm excited to talk to you today about it. So for those people who don't know who you are, I don't know where they've been living, but just let me introduce you, that you are a television legend. You're well known for your role as Lou Grant on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and your subsequent spinoff, Lou Grant, which I've heard you talk about in the past. And my kids all know you from Carl Fredricksen in the film Up, which is just a popular movie. And you're also quite politically active. You were the president of SAG from 1981. Yes, from 1981 to 1985. And you live in Los Angeles now, correct? You're joining us from Los Angeles. So again, welcome. So I want to ask you, when did you decide to write The Grouchy Historian? Was there something, was there a political event or a particular event or news story that you thought to yourself, okay, enough of this, I have to do something to correct? Or was it a buildup of things over time?
Oh, certainly it's a buildup of things over time. It's time we should assail the government and act like Tom Paines.
Mm-hmm. And were you always interested in history? Was that something growing up that interested you growing up?
Very much. I think history certainly is a prep way to go into theater, tied together. And I certainly thought of history, but I certainly didn't know that people made a living with history. Maybe I can go there now.
Yeah, it's never too late. If you didn't go into the acting world, did you think about being a historian or a lawyer? Were you thinking of that as a career for yourself?
I thought of being an archaeologist.
Archaeologist, okay.
Yeah.
And you talk a little bit about your parents, or I read about your parents. You grew up Orthodox Jewish family. Did your parents talk? Did your parents talk about politics? Were they politically active at that time?
Let's face it. We were in Kansas City, Kansas. There are plenty of Jews in Kansas City, but mostly on the Missouri side at that time. And it was the time of Hitler. So whether the family would have been, historically speaking, most of the time, I don't know, but because of Hitler, because of the times we lived in, because of the isolation in Kansas City, we tied into current events a great deal.
Did you ever experience anti-Semitism personally growing up?
I was blackballed from a fraternity in high school, and then joined a different one.
Okay.
I would say, when I speak of Kansas City, I speak of it as relatively speaking, it was a gentle place to grow up as a Jew.
Okay. And did your parents live a long life? Do you have good genes?
They both lived to 82.
They both lived to 82. And did they live independently? Were they able to live independently their whole lives? Or did you have to take care of them in any way?
No. They were their own providers.
Okay. All right. And so when you thought about writing this book, I know that you collaborated with Ed Weinberger. And
he's the leader. He was the generator. He was the muckraker.
So you had the ideas, you told him what you wanted, where you wanted to go with it, and then he did the research, or how did you collaborate together?
He did all the leading. I
He
came
did all-
along and contributed where I could and joked where I could, but it's mostly Ed Weinberger who led me with him.
Okay, and how long do you guys go back? How long do you both know each other?
The beginning of last year, I was busy doing Ed's one-man show, and that show is called A Man and His Prostate.
Yes.
And I feel very comfortable in it. I find the show quite successful.
All right.
And, after opening in that, he then approached me with his plans to write the book.
Okay.
Asked if I'd join him.
And are you still touring with A Man and His Prostate? Do you have upcoming dates?
Yeah, I'm about to leave tomorrow.
Okay.
Vermont, Michigan, Wisconsin. I'm not sure where else.
Okay. And so am I allowed to say your age? Can I say how old you are?
Well, is there a permit you have to get?
I'm asking permission from you.
Of course.
So you are 88 years old.
Right.
And you're traveling all over the place. You're doing a one-man play.
Yeah, experiencing the marvel of American air transportation.
But which takes a toll on everybody. I mean, I don't care what age you are.
I refer that comedically.
Okay.
The marvel of American air transportation.
Right. But is there like, have you always lived a healthy life? Have you tried to eat healthy? Do you exercise? Is there something that you've done to be so successful at 88? Share with us.
I have no idea. I'm way overweight, and I haven't been exercising because I've been busy with the tour, etc. So I don't know why I'm still here.
It sounds like you have a good relationship with your daughter. Do you think your family has contributed?
With all my kids.
All your kids?
I'm very proud of that.
How many children do you have?
I have 4.
4 kids. Good. And so I guess part of it is that it seems like you have something to live for, something to look forward to. You're not letting life pass you by.
No, I'm not, because I'm in debt, and I'm trying to amass enough money to pay off my debtees.
Okay, wonderful motivation, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that'll keep you going. Right? So that brings me to, because I work in the field of aging, and I'm partnering with another nonprofit, and I did some research on you, and you did a documentary, Saving Our Parents, about elder abuse and healthy aging.
Yeah.
Are you still involved with this cause in any way? Are you?
Not, other than trying to protect myself, no.
Okay, all right. So you learned lessons from it then?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you involved with any charitable causes now? Is there something that's near and dear to your heart? Autism.
I'm right at the point of leaving the board of the Screen Actors Guild. What else? I'm board of Defenders of Wildlife, and I'm very proud of that. Whatever comes along, I believe in, I do what I can.
Good. And what do you like to do for fun? What's your hobbies? That you could talk to me about for the public?
Well, I was going to whisper into your ear about that.
Yeah. No, that's why I prefaced this by that we could talk about on air.
What do I do for fun? I don't. For instance, of late, I have a friend that comes by and he turns on the TV for me.
Okay.
We can watch all like except up to the last 5 episodes of Breaking Bad.
Okay, all right.
That's how late I am.
Seriously, yeah. Okay, so Breaking Bad. Have you watched the Oscar movies? Did you watch the Oscar movies? Any of the movies nominated?
No, I haven't. I think the only thing of those movies, I think the only one I saw was Mud. And I'm a big admirer of, who was it, Del Toro?
Guillermo del Toro, who did Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, he also did Pan's Labyrinth, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
And I adored that movie. And I feel that I'll feel the same way about Shape of Water.
It's great. I saw it on Saturday night and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I wanted to ask you, so you were in a play with Michael Strahan, who is in Shape of Water. I forgot the name of it.
Oh, no, Shannon.
Shannon, right. Yeah. So he is
He was in Shape of Water?
Yeah, he plays a very mean character in Shape of Water. He plays a monster.
He's designed to do that.
Yeah. But is he a nice guy in real life? I wanted to ask you that.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
He's such a terrible character in this movie, but it's a great movie. I was glad that it won. Do you have another book in your future? Do you have something else? Like what else?
I'm working on my autobiography now.
Are you?
I'm kind of at a crossroads there. I'm not sure whether I'm going to finish it or we're at a crossroads.
Okay, but you've started it.
I don't know whether I want to go on living or not. So that'll be the decision as to finishing the autobiography.
Okay, so changing that subject. So you've starred in a lot of comedies. Does laughter play a big role in your life? Is that important to you?
No, it never did. It never did until I became known as a comedian with Mary Tyler Moore. But we started out in the business of theater, concentrating on, I loved doing comedy, but always worried that I didn't know how to repeat it. How do I keep that joke? It used to drive me nuts. And then with Mary Tyler Moore, finally learning, you just do it. You just keep doing it, refining it where you can, but don't run scared.
Mm-hmm. So you basically, you see a challenge and you just go for it. Is that your sort of philosophy on life? Just
you see what?
Is that sort of your philosophy on life? Even though there's a challenge, just go do it. Just try it and keep going.
If it's worth it. If it's worth it.
Yeah.
As I started to say, we are starting out in the business of showbiz. That you get discovered by doing drama. I did all the dramas I could in TV anyway, working my way up. And then the blessing of Mary Tyler Moore came along. And I learned from the writers, producers, my fellow actors, the director. And over 7 years, I learned how to cut the mustard up to a point. And then beyond that, I should leave it to others to cut the mustard. But I think I know how to get a laugh. Or if the groundwork of writing has been done for me. And sometimes I can get a laugh even if it's not in the writing. By looking like a fool, I suppose.
Do you have a favorite memory from the Mary Tyler Moore show that sticks?
It's nothing but favorite memories. 7 years of favorite memories. She was a queen, a doll, a princess, goody two-shoes. She gave us everything we needed.
Mm-hmm.
She let us star on her vehicle. And I compare it to the axle and the supporting actors like me are the tires. And she's the axle that keeps us spinning.
And do you think, did she feel appreciated for that, you think? Do you think she knew that? Did people appreciate her at the time for that?
We never thought of challenging her queenship. We always spoke of her as our queen. Ted especially. He constantly employed the term. And I believe it was an apt term. She reigned over a large assembly of good shows, comedy, and was a hell of an actress herself.
Did you keep in touch with her after the show was over?
Pardon?
Did you keep in touch with her after the
Yeah.
show was over? Did you stay friends with her? Yeah. And
I
who?
even produced a film, co-produced a film, which starred her. It was not successful, a TV film, but I thought her work as Mrs. Lincoln was fantastic. And what was the Tony-winning play?
Ordinary People. She was, yeah, she was in that. The line, I hate spunk, when you said that on the Mary Tyler Moore show to Mary.
I hate saying that line.
Do you?
I love spunk.
What?
Spunk is what we need.
Did you think that was going to catch on as much as it did at the time?
No, it was in the pilot. No, not the pilot, but the first show. And everything was so well played by me and Mary at that point, on that moment. She did the proper kicking the dirt under her feet in her acceptance of praise, did all that wonderful dilly-dallying, to then have me leap on her like Bela Lugosi and say, I hate spunk. The reaction of the audience, 300 people in the audience, it was as if I felt so powerful. I felt I could command them to jump off a cliff, and those 300 people would do it. Fortunately, I didn't do it.
Yes.
I didn't test the waters. But I knew we were a smash from that point on.
And when you think about today's seniors and everybody's trying to stay happy and healthy, and you have achieved this amazing career, you're still going strong. Do you have any advice that you would give to other seniors about staying engaged in the world or staying healthy?
Well, naturally, it means believe in what you're doing, believe in yourself and your strength. And if you're not happy at what you're doing, then do something else. We live in a very screwed up world. And there's a great need for people, both their goodwill and their intelligence, to help save this world, which I'm not sure is capable of being saved. From what I read in the daily papers every day, it's enough to say nothing changes. The evil continues to triumph. I'd like a better world. And it needs as many volunteers as you can find.
Mm-hmm. There are good people in the world. I think sometimes they don't get on the news, but there are good people. I work with an agency with over 1,200 volunteers that are helping seniors to stay in their homes and helping Alzheimer's disease caregivers. And I think I have that balance of watching the news, but there's really good people in the world too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they might outweigh the bad.
Yeah. I think we have to hope, right? You have to have hope. Yeah. Is there a famous motto or a quote that you live by, or a credo that you live by, you think?
I like "Don't give up the ship."
Mm-hmm.
A motto. No. All our lives we're told, stop being a baby, stop being a baby. And I have to keep reminding myself of that from time to time. Stop being a baby. I don't move like I used to. I use a cane now. The times I've thought I've got to get up and get that dish, and I'll sit there for 15 minutes thinking about getting up and getting that dish, and then find something to keep me seated longer and longer and longer. And if I could find a way to light the fuse, get up and get that dish now. If the thought occurs to me to act on it, I'm sure I wouldn't be as fat as I am.
But on the other hand, you are traveling and doing a one-man show. You wrote a book. You're doing interviews. So you're living a life that a lot of 88-year-old people do not live.
Well, then I'm sorry for them, because if you can't try to do some of this stuff, then it's not worth living.
Right. Well, people give up, and you're not giving up. You're still. So I give you permission to not get up right away to get the ice cream. You're still.
And I just keep getting fatter and fatter.
Well, you know what? There actually has been research that people who are overweight as they're older live longer. So,
really?
So I'm holding on to that.
Maybe that's why I see all my contemporaries dying, because they're slimmer than me.
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly. So I think you're doing the right things. I really do. I think you need to give yourself a break for not getting up and getting the ice cream right away.
I'll work on it.
All right. I give you permission for that.
Grazie, signora.
You're very welcome. That's why we were talking today, for me to give you permission. But just in closing, have you ever received any advice that really changed your life or that really stuck with you? Did anybody give you advice along the way?
I had performed some effort and I was proud of it. And it wasn't being accepted, or wasn't selling or whatever. And a friend came along and he read it and looked at it and said, well, Ed, sometimes it's not good enough. Just to hear somebody say about something that I was proud of, to say that it's not good enough. It was like a thunderclap. He said it gently, but honestly. And his credentials were excellent. And I realized I had to believe him and accept him, And sometimes we have to, the ultimate things we may be proud of, but will not be tolerated or accepted by those around us and at large. And we have to say, gotcha.
Wow,
I understand. I understand.
that's great.
And go back and start from scratch if you have to.
Right. And you're most proudest of your children? Is that in your life? Would you
Oh
say?
yeah, I'm very proud of my kids. I mean, they have faults, certainly. They're not fault-free.
Mm-hmm.
But I look around me and I say that they're outstanding individuals in my book.
Hmm. And you were a role model. You were their role model. So.
Oh, well, I think their mother was a big role model too.
Yep, I'm sure. Yep.
So.
Yep. Well, I want to thank you. When I think about looking back, this is going to be one of my proudest moments that I got to meet you this way and talk to you. And you've been very kind to me. So
I heard you.
You have been.
I'm going to whisper in your ear and talk about all the things we're going to do together.
And cut. So thank you. It was an honor. And I hope that we could talk again in the future. This was really fun for me. So, and congratulations on your book. Again, I really liked your book and I encourage people to read it. It will open your eyes to things that you didn't realize before. And I hope it changes some minds and opens some minds as well. So thank you for that.
Well, then not everybody's got your good taste.
That's true. Well, that's obvious.